Welcome to Atherton On Air. I am Lexi Goki.
And I'm Alex Malaloa.
And here's what's trending.
A couple of weeks ago was Veterans Day. Let's hear from a veteran here at Atherton.
Atherton High School is home to several veterans, one of which being Alan Williams. Williams has taught at Atherton High School for the past 7 years, currently holding the position as lead engineering teacher in Atherton's Engineering Academy. Williams was active during Operation Desert Storm, commonly known as the Gulf War, which was the first major foreign crisis for the U.S. following the end of the Cold War.
I was active during Desert Storm, but I didn't actually deploy. I was within a few days of deployment when the war ended. That was, I was a flight line supervisor and aircraft maintenance. So I did avionics systems on several different aircraft.
Following the long line of military in his family, Williams chose to enlist, but ultimately never deployed.
Came from a long line of military. My father was military, my uncles, a whole lot of retired military folks in my family, so it just seemed like the thing to do.
Williams' experience taught him discipline, and ultimately gave him the experience that led to the job he has today.
Oh, it had a lot to do with it. It gave me discipline that I didn't have before. It gave me experience in this field, so like I said, if I hadn't done that job, I wouldn't be teaching this today here at Atherton. There are millions of us that, you basically gave the government your vow that you would support and defend, and even if that cost you your life, so there's not very many people who are willing to do that.
Nowhere and nothing is perfect, the U.S. being no exception. Even then, we enjoy many freedoms and rights that other nations do not. Veterans, both those we meet and those we don't, all gave a vow to give their service to this country to secure the freedoms that we have today. So with that, it only seems right that we stop and reflect on the rights we so fortunately enjoy, and thank and recognize those that helped secure those rights for us. For Atherton On Air, I'm Audra Barbieri.
If you ever stop by Mr. Gregory's room, you've probably seen the large array of plants he keeps.
With the help of his students, he keeps these plants alive for the beauty of his classroom.
Let's hear some more about these plants from the gardeners themselves.
So we have a binder full of all the different plants, their names, their number, because we numbered them all to keep track. And so every Wednesday in the middle of the week, we water the ones that need to be watered once a week, and the ones that need to be watered once a month, we do that on the first Wednesday of the month. Most of them, when I first got in this class this year, they were already here. But Mr. Gregory, he bought a few more for us, and he sat them on our desks, and then we came in and we found them. It was like Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, we have a Christmas tree farm as well. And we just have a bunch of pine trees in tiny little containers, and we planted them all, and we're excited for Christmas, and we're gonna put tiny little ornaments on them.
Do you have a job?
Daily Life of Lexi on YouTube, and I work at Edible Arrangements.
That's awesome. I'm still looking for one.
Tons of our Ravens have jobs, some of them being very interesting and out of the ordinary. Macy Seymour is a great example of this.
I was in freshman year of high school, and I wanted to make a gift for my mom for Christmas. So I went to Lowe's and I bought a titanium washer, and I started sanding it down inside and outside, and I got it stuck on my finger, and my dad had to saw it off, and he was like, okay, let's just get you lessons, because this isn't gonna work. And then I've been making it since then. It's mostly just commissions, so somebody can come up to me and they'll be like, hey, I want this done, and I'll be like, okay, here's some designs, what are you okay with, what do you want on this? And then they'll just discuss with me what exactly they want, and then I'll discuss a price depending on what it is that they want, and then I'll make it, and they give me the money, and then I give them their whatever they want. The process definitely is taking a while because I think it's a very complicated trade to have. My earrings, okay, so this was one of my more beginner pieces, and so I just made some triangles, and I was like, what am I going to do with these? And then I decided, let's make them earrings, because I had 2 of them, and I was like, okay, why not? And what I did was I took 3 pieces of wire, 3 pieces each, and then I angled them, and I sanded each side down to be angled to line up to with each other, and then I take solder and I soldered it all together, and then afterwards I took a piece of wire that fit my ear hole, and then I shaped that to the length, like I think it was like 1 inch, and then I curved it and I did a little swirl at the end and I soldered that onto the triangles. The rings, they honestly really depend on what type of ring I'm making. I think the easiest ring I made was probably this ring, which was a nickel ring, and that was like practice for me. And all I did was I cut out a sheet of nickel to be 2 inches, which was the width of my thumb, and then I hammered that down on a manual to be a circle, and then I soldered the ends where they met together, and then after I was done soldering, I started hammering it to add a texture into it. Well, I mostly just enjoy that I can make jewelry for myself that I can wear, and then people are like, oh hey, that's cool, and I can be like, yeah, I made it. But I also just enjoy the process, even though it's like really frustrating sometimes, because like something you might have messed up and you have to restart, but it's actually just still a lot of fun, and I like that it's like my own ideas and that I can create this and I can say this is mine, this is what I've made, and I like that I can make it for other people too.
Now let's honor this week's freshman, Ruby Corman, with Miss Elkins.
Ruby was an easy nomination for Student of the Week because she is a quiet powerhouse. That's what I consider her to be. She's extremely caring, she's very principled, she's a hard worker in the gym, she shows up, she works from bell to bell, but she's just an overall very, very caring. I have, a tremendous amount of respect for her. She's well-rounded. She's got a lot of things going for her, and I just thought that she was very worthy of this nomination.
First day of PE, I came in here, I wasn't expecting much. I met Miss Elkins, I went home and I was like, I'm gonna love PE this year. I try my hardest in here. A lot of the people also try really hard, and Miss Elkins does a really good job of teaching us how to do these things and have a lot of fun with it.
For Atherton On Air, I'm Lexi Goki.
And I'm Alex Moaloa.
Keep it 100, Ravens.